Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I'm Jane, and in this video I pretty much talk about um, skincare, weight loss journey, and other non-crafting. I know I'm in my craft room uh, making this video right now, but yeah. So anyways, to those of you who had been following my videos recently, you guys probably saw the video about Shadow, my cat, our cat. So sadly, we had to put him down. Um, yeah, because he was not, I mean, it was expected that he wasn't really gonna get any better with the tumor on his jaw. Um, the pain medication helped a little bit, but it was to the point where even with the medication, the pain meds, it wasn't going anywhere. I think because the when we took him to the vet, we had to give him the pain meds every day, and then after that 4 days of continuous medication, it was every other day. And at first, he, like the first few days, he started like running, or like he would like try and mimic my rabbit's zooming. And he was still not eating a lot though. We're guessing because it's painful for him. There were times where I saw him grooming himself, especially on his left paw, because he had, like, whenever he would drool, sometimes there were blood coming out, and he would try and lick that. However, when he would do his normal grooming, he wasn't really grooming himself anymore. It was mostly just one side of his body. Um, we continuously monitored his litter box usage. There were times where he would not poop, which was also expected because, again, his food intake was not that great. And Shadow, unfortunately, just does not like soft food whatsoever. He does not like them. Even when we got to the point where we had to like soak his dry food, he would not touch it. So we just leave his food there, and then my daughter would measure his food intake every day. There were times where he would eat like 50 ml because we measured it with the cylinder, and he would eat 50 on one day, and then the next day he would eat 25 ml, and then next day again less than 25 ml, and then go back to like 40, 50, sometimes even 80, minus the some of the food that he drops on the floor though. So we didn't really account for those. So yeah, but he was eating, he was, drinking some water. He started to pee in his litter box. He would, go number two in his litter box. But the amount of waste he was, the output of his waste was not good. Um, it was, the amount was not good. The consistency of his stool was a mixture of wet and like dry. And again, the amount is very little, including his peeing. Now with Shadow, he had renal issue. He had renal failure. So when we found out about that last year, about his renal issue, that's when we started noticing that he would, drink a lot of water. But then when the tumor happened, it was really fast and it was so noticeable that he was not drinking enough water at all. So we can only imagine how hard that was for him. And then the last few days, um, I believe actually it was like 2 days before we had to, put him down. He started being lethargic again, not really eating a lot, not drinking, and he started to drool more, and the drool started with like there were like more blood on the drool, um, and there was, I think, the day before we had to put him down, he was sleeping on our bed, right? And he was sleeping in a weird, or not weird, but he's on this like curled up position. And I went there and I couldn't see him breathing. So I tried to like wake him up, like shake him, touch him, play with his ears, his paws. I even tried to irritate him by touching the back legs. He hates his back legs being touched because he's also got joint issues. Now, it took a while for him to wake up, and then when he finally woke up, he was so pissed. I have never seen that cat that pissed whatsoever. He started growling at me and hissing at me, and I was just like, Shadow, it's mommy, calm down. I was just waking you up. But no, yeah, he was hissing. And then my husband was like, just leave him alone. He's probably in a lot of pain right now. And so we decided to give him another dose of his medication. Um, and then later that night, that's when, because my husband's been like saying like, look, he's not doing that great. Because I was the one that kept on like pushing it like, no, let's not do it today, or let's not do it this week, let's do it this day. And yeah, when I started realizing how bad it was, like how painful it was for him, that's when I told my husband, I was like, okay, then we'll have to do it tomorrow. And he was like, okay. And I had to keep reminding myself that, if I keep pushing, if I keep waiting, it would just be really, really bad for Shadow. It would be really bad for the cat. I would be doing disservice to him. And so, yeah. The next day we went to the vet. We set the appointment, and it was for 3 p.m. And because you can't schedule euthanasia like an hour before, I guess, before the vet closes. So we had to schedule it 2 hours before they close. So yeah. And what was I talking about? I got confused. Yeah, so we went to the vet, and they gave him sedative. They had to sedate him for them to put the IV thing where the final medication goes. And it was so low-key. I'm kind of glad like the actual the event, because it was very peaceful. I looked up a lot of videos, blogs online, like people's experiences when they had to put their cat down or their animal down. And I read some posts, saw some videos where they said like it might be best if, you know, after the vet sedate your pet, it's like you have the vet do the actual thing, like the final thing happens like behind the door, not like where you are, where your family are, because apparently some pets reacts to the medication, like they would like breathe weirdly, act weirdly, all that stuff. But with Shadow, he literally just fell asleep. My husband was holding him. I got a fuzz in my eye. Um, but yeah, he just fell asleep. He was so cute. Actually, he was just like a sleeping baby cat. I don't know. He's always gonna be my baby though. So, but yeah, he was so peaceful. And then the vet told us that they're gonna come back in like 10 to 15 minutes to, you know, put the IV. And my husband was holding him like a baby. Like he likes being held like a baby. And my husband was like petting him, petting him. My daughter and me were petting him, hugging him. And you could just see, like, you know, he was starting to fall asleep, not really caring, even if you were like touching his paws, his beans. And then my husband noticed there was a lump on one of his leg. I can't remember which side it was. And he was like, "Hey baby, check this." So I touched the leg, and yeah, there was a lump. It wasn't a tiny lump either. So I don't know if it was another tumor, another bone tumor on his leg. So yeah, that was probably gonna be, would have been another nightmare, because when we took him to the ER, when they did the X-ray, we only had the jaw area X-rayed. We didn't have the full body X-ray, so we did not know anything about that tumor. And also, if that tumor was the same as his leg, which pretty much developed, or it basically just became visible that big in a span of like less than a week. So it was that fast. So if the one on his leg was also like that, then we wouldn't be surprised if we did not like physically see it when we went to the vet, if there was no X-ray, right? But yeah. So and then the vet came. They put the IV on him, and then they asked us to press the button whenever we are ready for them to come back and, you know, put the medication. And yeah, it was so nice actually for them to give us ample time. And yeah, so we had enough time waiting. And so my husband, you know, pressed the button, and the vet came with the medication. And they put the first, because there were 2 syringes of medication, and she put the first one, and then he was still sleeping. There were no weird movements, there were no weird breathing, nothing like that. Like he was just still asleep. And then the vet, you know, gave Shadow the last syringe, like the last dose of the medication. Yeah, he was still sleeping. He was sleeping the whole time until he wasn't. And then, yeah, a few minutes after that, even if it was even minutes, the vet checked his heartbeat, all that, and then she said that he's gone. And then they gave us more time to spend with him before we actually leave. Um, and we decide to um, have him cremated, and we selected the urns, like they're packaged like the paw print on a clay, and then damn, this video is harder to make than I thought. And yeah, so we're just waiting for the his remains. I googled it. They said that usually it takes about 2 weeks. We also selected where you don't, like it's a separate cremation, not like multiple pets cremated together and then you get portions of ashes. I did not want to do that at all. Um, and so, yeah, we paid for individual cremation. And then, yeah, we called the vet and then we told them that we are ready to go. And so we left him there. They took him pretty much right after we left too. And then, yeah, it was so weird. Like coming back from work and not seeing him. Yeah, coming back from work every day, not seeing him is weird. Going to bed, not seeing him is weird. I think Illyria, my bunny, probably noticed that Shadow hasn't been around because like the way we have their food bowl, well, Shadow's food bowl and water bowl is pretty much next to Illyria's water bowl, except Illyria's got her pen, and she would like try and stand up on her hind leg and like look past the little barrier thing because she used to scare Shadow. Lyria would just like zoom to her water while Shadow was being it was messed up because Shadow would end up smacking Illyria too. You just hear like bunk bunk bunk. But yeah, that was like their moments. But yeah, now Illyria would just like look in that area where the cat bowl is. I haven't removed his cat bowl. Still have his food there. Obviously, I removed the water, but his Shadow's cat bowl or food bowl is still there. I haven't thrown it away. um, Obviously, I cleaned up already. His litter box is gone. We still have some of his things. His food, buckets of his food still there. His unused litter still there. Um, his cat tree still there. His staircase though, because we had to get him stairs to get to our bed. That one we already tossed that out. But yeah, most of his stuff are still here. And this weekend I will, start packing stuff and give it away if somebody wants it. I know he's got like pretty much a full jar of his treats, his catnip. I'll see if my friend wants it or anybody in the neighborhood wants it. But except the food, I'm not gonna offer the food away because it's been opened. But yeah. So that is the update, you guys, about Shadow. And those of you who are going through the same thing and probably just like me had a hard time of, finally deciding to take your cat and or your dog or your pet, guinea pig, rabbit, all that stuff, just know you're not a bad person for doing it, right? Because essentially you're doing it for your baby, for your fur baby. Because it's not good to keep them alive even though they are in so much pain. Um, so yeah, because I know to me that was the struggle. Like until now, I still have that thoughts of what if we put him down too early? What if this and this and this? Even though I know, like factually, he wasn't gonna get any better. Even if we go with the surgery, the chance of him even waking up after the surgery is very slim too, because of his age and his other medical issues. So yeah, just know that you're not alone. You're not a bad person if you have to put your animal down, your pet down because of medical conditions. Obviously, we all want to keep them for as long as we can. If there are treatments and if the treatment outcome is pretty good, definitely do it, especially if you have the financial means. But yeah, so also, last update, this is not about Shadow though. This is more like channel update. I may be delayed in posting videos on this coming weeks or even months because I am moving my setup. I am gonna reset stuff. So yeah, I'll have a news for y'all in the next couple of months. But as of right now, yeah, that's pretty much the only delays is I am moving my what do you call this? Like my studio, including my craft area. So, but yeah, hopefully I made sense with all that I just said because I think I got lost in a sauce there in the middle. And the video is already 20 minutes plus. So I'm gonna end it now here. Um, I will I will try and post like cat related videos, like care, basically things like what you should be watchful of, to kind of mitigate ways that could lead to your cat being so sick, or like finding out that your cat is sick on a late stage. But again, sometimes it can't be helped. Sometimes things just happen so fast that you can't really do anything. So, but yeah, I don't know when I will make that though, because it's right now just talking about Shadow is really hard still. But I don't want to make the video where I have to like pause and pause and pause and pause it, or my voice cracking. But yeah, I'll get there. And yeah, I will try and post other videos, like some some videos with positive vibes, not like this one that's super sad. So yeah, but anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I hope I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Oh, also, before I forget, I just want to thank everyone. You know who you are. There's a lot of you, so I can't mention y'all one by one. But thank you all so much for those really loving, supportive messages, comments that I've been getting while going through this thing about Shadow. I appreciate you all, and I know a lot of you also had been to the same position as I am. And thank you for all the encouraging. It did help, especially on those last few days before Shadow crossed the bridge, the Rainbow Bridge. So yeah, I just want to thank you all so much. And if those of you who are going through the same thing, just be strong. And what I can really give you as an advice, enjoy every minute with your fur baby. yeah, enjoy every moment of it. Take a bunch of pictures, a bunch of videos with them that you can look back later. So yeah, bye.